I would feel like I wasn't getting the right answers or I wasn't being listened to. And then I went on my fertility journey on my own, went through pregnancy, my postpartum recovery. And I just realized women need that support with them outside of just their medical team. The medical teams are great, but it's just your doctor's appointments. Sometimes in the middle of the night, you're Googling something. Oh my God, I'm cramping. Why am I cramping? And you're Googling something and you're panicking and you don't have someone to talk to guide you through it. You have to wait until maybe your next doctor's appointment, or you call the office and the doctor gets back to you, but it's not continual, like a continual partner by your side.
Welcome to Unmute with Priya, the podcast where silence ends, voices rise, and women rediscover the freedom to speak and live authentically, especially in life after 40. This show is proudly sponsored by Project Icon. I'm your host, Priya Sudarsanam. Let's dive into today's conversation. On today's episode, I'm talking with Krystal Sanchez, founder of Live Well with Krystal. She is a nutrition consultant and a health coach who supports women through some of the most vulnerable and transformative seasons of life. Krystal, welcome to the show. I am so excited to share what you have to offer and learn more from you today.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here today.
Yeah. So before we started recording, you and I were just getting to know each other, and you talked about that this wasn't just supporting women at fertility or one specific stage. You're helping women through multiple stages. So if you can share more about.
I am, because it's not just one stage. What you do in fertility when you're trying to get pregnant, that affects how you feel during pregnancy. And what you do during pregnancy then affects your postpartum recovery. And then, it moves on to when your kids are growing up and you're starting solids with them. You're transitioning them maybe from breast milk or formula to completely eating solids, and it continues. And I like when I work with women to follow them on that whole journey. It helps us build a relationship. It gives me more time to get to know them. It gives them time to get to know me and truly feel comfortable along the whole way.
I love that. I love that you're walking alongside someone. It's just not one specific period. What got you into supporting women through this?
So it was when I was on my maternity leave after I had my daughter.
Okay.
Before that, I worked many years in corporate, went on my maternity leave, but throughout my whole fertility journey, even leading up to that, before I knew I wanted to get pregnant, I was learning about health all on my own. I had some health struggles and I would feel like I wasn't getting the right answers or I wasn't being listened to. And then I went on my fertility journey on my own, went through pregnancy, my postpartum recovery. And I just realized women need that support with them outside of just their medical team. The medical teams are great, but it's just your doctor's appointments.
Right.
Sometimes in the middle of the night, you're Googling something. Oh my God, I'm cramping. Why am I cramping? And you're Googling something and you're panicking and you don't have someone to talk to guide you through it. You have to wait until maybe your next doctor's appointment, or you call the office and the doctor gets back to you, but it's not continual, like a continual partner by your side. And
Wow.
I wanted to be that support person for women going through this.
So when you had your daughter, you were essentially navigating this by yourself, besides wow.
Yes. I had my doula, for birth, which was amazing. I had my lactation consultant, for breastfeeding, which was also amazing. Any of the other little things, what should I eat today? What should I be doing for recovery? What kind of things are really going to help me get back to feeling like myself and have that energy again while also taking care of my newborn little baby? Those are a lot of the things that I felt like were just missing. A lot of women don't have that kind of support.
Yeah, definitely. And Google can definitely take you in that rabbit hole, especially middle of the night when you're on Google and then next thing you know, you're not sleeping for the rest of the night.
Yes. I do not suggest it. I don't suggest Googling. I don't suggest asking AI. I don't suggest it.
Yeah, definitely. So, since I love that you created this, often when we create something out of something that we needed for ourselves, that's the passion shows through. What is something that you really wish that I mean, you did state what you didn't have somebody walking alongside of you, but what was that? Was there one thing that you were like, hey, I wish I had somebody helping me right now, especially maybe when you were pregnant or after you had the baby?
I wish I had someone to almost help me feel more confident and trust my intuition. That expert, to just, you're doing things right. Trust how you feel. If you're getting an answer that doesn't feel right to you, trust that. Don't second guess yourself.
Yeah. That's amazing. And I think this is talking about unmute with Priya. And a lot of times women are just second guessing themselves. They don't trust that nudge. Call it women's intuition for a reason, but yet we don't trust it. Yeah. What is in your expertise, one of the things that you see in what is available for women from fertility through once even the child is born and introducing food? What is one of the things that you see is missing just as a whole in your experience and around you?
So more of the holistic approach. Again, our medical is great. We have access to so many things like IVF, um, you know, pregnancy for labor, cesarean sections. We have so many great medical things, but we're lacking a lot of the holistic approach, that whole body. How are you living day to day? What are the things you're doing? What's in your home? Not just what you're eating. What you're eating is a very big part of it also. But what are the other little things? How are you sleeping? What's your stress levels? I feel like that is missing a lot from the whole fertility, pregnancy, postpartum space. It's so medicalized
Mm-hmm.
that I think we've forgotten about everything else in life and your lifestyle.
I love that you say this because I've been doing a deep dive into that, just more about just with things that certain family members are going through and just looking in environmental toxins. And just, I live in an area where we have uranium in our water. We should not be drinking uranium. And so
Yeah.
I have really become aware in the last year of what is in my environment. I've been very conscious about what I put in my body, but even to the point of nail polish, what cleaners I'm using. Is this something that you support women with as well?
I do. So it's one of the foundations that I go through, and I kind of umbrella it under like your home life, your home environment, but it's everything. It's what are you cleaning? Even sometimes what kind of clothes are you wearing? What are the fibers made out of? What are you bringing into your home? Even something as simple and completely free. Are you opening your windows at home to get that fresh air in? Like if you can, what kind of makeup? What are you washing your hair with? What are you cleaning your clothes with?
Wow.
We go through all of it and never to stress anyone out.
Yeah.
But sometimes we don't realize that maybe something we're doing just isn't sitting right with our bodies. Everyone's so unique and different that maybe just something we're doing isn't sitting right.
I love the holistic side of just everything that you're sharing. And I think, what would you say to, because some people feel like they have to have holistic or the medical Western approach, and it has to be one or the other. But can there be a melding of the two?
Absolutely. And going into working with anyone, I always say that one, I'm not here to replace your medical team, and I want to work alongside them. I want to give you that guidance. If you're thinking of something, but you're not sure what to ask, your OBGYN, I'm here to guide you and maybe give you suggestions on what to ask them, what medications you might be taking that maybe you forgot maybe to bring up to your OBGYN. Or maybe your doctor gave you the advice to get more iron in your diet. But now you're kind of like, oh, wait, how do I do that? Well, that's where I'll step in now and I'll help you with that. So I would love in a perfect world for Western medical and holistic for everyone to work together and get along. But yes, I do believe the two go together. They should go together.
Yeah. I want to just backtrack a little bit since I talk about voice and identity and with your expertise, from friends that I didn't have children, but just my friends and family that have had children, they talked about motherhood being this time where they felt like they were disappearing slowly and just becoming small because they're so into being a mom. How do you help women reconnect with themselves during this time?
So I always like to say, where are you getting your joy from? That's always something like, where are you getting your joy from? What is something you're doing for yourself? Are you stepping outside? Are you drinking your cup of tea or coffee? Are you reading a book? And I get motherhood. It's hard. Sometimes we're like, I don't have time to read a book. But
Yeah.
if you enjoyed reading, did you read a page, a paragraph, maybe just a few minutes every day for yourself, whatever brings you joy, because that helps keep you connected to who you were before mother and keeps you connected to yourself. Because it's easy to lose yourself in motherhood.
Yeah.
It happens too. I've gone through it. It happens. But when you remember, what were those little things? It doesn't have to be anything major. But what were just those little things that you liked to do for yourself? Can you take maybe just 5-10 minutes and
Yeah.
try to do that again for yourself and stay connected?
I like that, connecting to joy. I think that could resonate with a lot of people. How do you help women, or what support can you offer to women when they feel like their body's not working with them? Maybe it's infertility challenges, postpartum challenges, or hormone issues. What would you say to that?
So I always go through almost like 6 foundations with everyone, no matter what, whether it's fertility or postpartum or you're in the middle of pregnancy. First is, how are you sleeping? We always kind of forget about that. How are you sleeping? Sleep
Yeah.
is so important. What are your stress levels? I kind of talked about this, but what's your home environment like? What products, what's in your home, your nutrition, what are you eating, on a day-to-day basis? Just about joy. What are you doing for yourself? And your relationships. What relationships do you have? What's your support system like? Even if it's nothing related to your fertility, maybe it's just a best friend that you can text back and forth with about whatever TV show you just watched.
Yeah.
But who's supportive in your life? If we go through those 6 foundations, I believe everything falls into place the way it should. And we work through that, including the nutrition, because one of those things could be, maybe we're not sleeping well. So that's now putting our body into a constant stress state. And if we're in a constant stress state, our body's not going to prioritize getting pregnant, or it might make that postpartum recovery feel even more difficult. Has to be.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of women that even myself, can you see me okay?
It
Can
kind
you
of
hear me?
froze.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Don't worry. This will be edited. There you are. Okay. There's a lag. So hopefully, all right. I think we are caught up now. You can hear me okay?
I can hear you okay. There's no lag on my
Okay.
end. It was just kind of
Okay.
blurry. Better?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. The blur, it will, when it comes out, then it will be okay. So this will be edited, so don't worry. So like I said, myself and just the friends that I've had, a lot of women have been trying to do everything perfectly. There's this notion of doing everything perfectly. What pressure do you see moms or women who maybe they haven't had their babies yet, putting on themselves is actually harming their health?
Taking every piece of advice they're given and thinking that they have to do every single thing absolutely perfectly. They have to have that perfectly balanced breakfast, lunch, and dinner all day long, 7 days a week. And if our minds are always thinking like that and worrying and hyper focusing on that, that's going to work against us. We're not meant to be perfect.
Yeah.
And along this whole journey, there is no perfection. And that's not what I ever want anyone I help to, strive for. We're not striving for perfection ever. Sometimes that's part of even when I work through, let go of that perfection. We're so used to trying to be perfect,
Yeah.
especially maybe our upbringing, our corporate careers. It's conditioned us to, you have to be perfect, and when we want to enter that, maybe we're trying to get pregnant or, now we're raising kids. There is no perfection, and
Yeah.
trying to be perfect is going to work against us.
And it sounds like the way that you do the coaching and the health coaching as well as the nutrition coaching, that nutrition doesn't necessarily just mean about the food that you're taking into your body. Nutrition is like, what are you actually feeding you beyond food?
Yes.
Share a little bit more about that and your experience.
So it's like how, again, it's that whole holistic approach, that whole body approach. How are you taking care of your body? Nutrition wise, yes, we need to eat certain things to help, a growing baby recovery, but also we need to eat foods we enjoy that just make us happy.
Yeah.
Food is life, food is fun, food is connection. We need to just have fun and enjoy. And that's also part of nutrition. I don't adhere to any strict diets or, cut this, and this out unless there's a medical reason for it. But if there's not, let's bring that happiness back into eating. Again, as women, so much of our lives is what size are you? Dieting, diet culture. That it follows us through into motherhood.
I love that you're bringing joy back into eating because I think, yeah, I mean, what couple of people that I've
It's
spoken to
fun.
recently, it's fun. Their eating disorder started so early on at 9 and then and beyond. And so bringing that joy back into eating, I think is a huge thing that people, women especially, don't have to feel that shame or that regret or the guilt around eating, and you're nourishing your body for the baby.
Exactly. And even then when you're raising littles, if you're enjoying your food, your kids see you enjoying your food and they might want to try it. They might want to help you cook. They might enjoy being in the kitchen eating meals with you if they're seeing you have fun with it.
Yeah. Yeah. And so let's journey into now mom has had the baby and you're walking alongside of them, babies here. How much of as a child is growing up, share a little bit on how a parent's stress, burnout, or overwhelm and their emotional state, if they're not managing it and aware of it, can actually help affect the child's health struggles as they're getting older.
So children are very aware, even when they're little babies still not talking, toddling around, they're watching us, right? They're taking in their whole world around them. That's how babies learn. And if they see us always stressed out, always upset, or, bringing it back to the nutrition, always counting calories in the kitchen, or it's someone's birthday and struggling to actually just enjoy that piece of cake. They're watching us, they're internalizing this. We may not realize it. Kids don't have the words, to express that yet, but they're internalizing it. Where on the opposite end, if you're enjoying it and you're like, it's a birthday, let's have cake. You're just enjoying it. You're not speaking negatively about food in any kind of way. Kids will pick that up and internalize that too. And as they grow older, enjoy their foods and have their vegetables, but also have that donut and know that, you know what? It's going to be okay.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I feel like just talking to you, you're giving a lot of permission. And that's something that women take away from themselves is permission too. And so by walking alongside of them, you're saying, hey, it's okay. Nothing. Whereas when you watch social media these days, there's a lot of fear mongering around that.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's a lot of noise out there, especially in the health and wellness space. There's a lot of noise.
Could you share a client success story of somebody that you've worked with, whether it's in the past or current, that how you walking alongside of them really shifted things for them?
So I had one client, she had PCOS, has PCOS. And a lot of the advice she was being given just it wasn't sitting right for her, and it wasn't working. And we started working together, and some of her levels started coming back to normal. She did reach a healthy weight for her body, and she realized that it was actually easier than she thought it was going to be. Her hormones were balancing out, and she came out of our journey together just feeling, she told me she felt understood and not judged,
That's huge.
which is another big thing for women. We don't want to feel judged and not listened to.
Right. Right. And I think a lot of the women I've talked to, especially navigating through the hormonal changes that happen in your body, they're not heard at the doctor's office. And that's a whole other topic. But the fact that they're being listened to by you, I think is such a gift.
Yes, that's
We get to talk about your gift. What is your gift in this work? Are the things that your clients or this client in particular says that makes you different from other things that they may have tried?
so. I think my gift is honoring everyone's uniqueness. Everyone is different. Everyone has different cultures, different upbringings, different family dynamics, and that impacts everything. The foods we want to eat, how we feel about the foods we eat. And I always want to honor that person's uniqueness. I will never tell someone that a cultural food that maybe they grew up making with their grandmother, that they shouldn't be eating that.
Yeah.
And if it's really not working for them, maybe their sugar levels are high. Well, maybe let's figure out then how we can balance that, but you still enjoy that food that's so important to you.
Yeah.
Even, lifestyle changes, what's going on for you at home, and let's work on that together. It's not a one size fits all like approach that I have. And I always want to honor everyone's individuality.
I love that because as you're talking, I'm thinking about, I mean, I'm Indian and my mom used to make all of these sweets and fried foods. I mean, they're so yummy, but
Yes.
for ceremonies or religious ceremonies. And when I've been going to visit them, I've been eating them and I know like they're fried and I probably shouldn't, but it actually just elicits a feeling of joy because it makes me remember my grandmother. And there's that joy that you talked
Yeah.
about earlier on. Yeah.
Yes. That's what I want everyone to experience. And like you said, when you go to visit her, like, that's okay. Enjoy it. You're going to visit her. Like, it's important to you. It's part of your culture. So I never want anyone to feel like what's very important to them and makes them them, that they have to lose that.
Yeah. Amazing. So how can people get in touch with you? How can people work with you?
So they can go to my website. It's livewellwithkrystal.com. And through there, they can book a call with me. And then we get on a quick, like 20-minute call to see, if they feel like I'm the right person for them to work with. And then we go from there.
And you work one-on-one with clients. Is that correct?
Yes. I work one-on-one with clients because, again, I can't respect someone's individuality if I'm not taking the time to get to know them and giving them that personalized attention.
I love that. It's a ton of attention that somebody's a mom to be or, mom who's had her child already needs that attention. And I love that you're there for them. And we'll make sure to put those links in the show notes. So if a woman listening to this episode is feeling exhausted, overwhelmed, or lost in her body, or just navigating all the hormonal changes, what would you want her to hear right now?
Don't try to be perfect. Let it go. Do not try to be perfect. When you're tired, it's okay if you're exhausted and something doesn't get done around the house. Take that time for you. Let go of the perfection. Take that time for you, reset, do what you have to do to bring yourself some joy first.
I'm going to take that to heart as well. Thank you. And I didn't even ask you this. What do you do for your joy when in those moments of busyness?
Well, right now there's snow outside, but I do like to go for walks, especially at the beach.
That
I'm
sounds
not far from
wonderful.
the beach, so anytime spring through fall, I'm walking at the beach.
Talk about clearing your the
Yes.
everything. That just sounds perfect. Thank you, Krystal, for being on my show today. It's been amazing to learn from you. And like I said, I'll put the links in the show notes and make sure that anybody who's listening to this can access you. So
Thank
thank
you so
you.
much for having me.
Yes. And this show was brought to you by Project Icon.